Greetings, everyone. Hey, listen, don't mind my little shiny face. I had to put plenty of moisturizer, okay? Got a little sunburn. Anyhow, today's word, oh my gosh, I can't even explain to you how I get these messages. And again, it comes with a lot of pondering and just listening. The Bible says that, God speaks to us in a quiet, still, small voice. And and what is a quiet small voice? It's not loud, and it's not intrusive. It doesn't sound like trumpet blasting. It's kind of really quiet when you're in your thoughts, when you're meditating on the right things. Okay, he also tells us in his word to think on the things that are above, what is good, what is righteous. Think on those things. I'm gonna need to find where that verse is. I know it's somewhere, and I'm probably not saying it right, but anyhow, he always tells us to think on things that are high, high vibing. I'm assuming, things that bring our soul alive. Okay, so anyhow, that comes from today's car ride, taking my kids to school. And as I'm taking my kids to school, I, couldn't help but notice the sky. The clouds were in a particular pattern that looked like a wave of the ocean. And I pointed that out to my kids. I'm like, hey, look at the sky. Doesn't it look like a wave from the ocean? We have to look at things with brand new eyes and with awe and wonder, because that's when we discover beautiful things about life and about the earth that we live in. Okay, I think when it says wake up and smell the roses, this is one of the things that people are referring to when you say that. Look at the beauty that's around you. Okay, so I said all that. My hummingbird is back. I said all that because, as I pointed out to the field where we were passing by, beautiful field. You see the grass was just beautiful, morning dew. You can see the fog, up above, the tree line, and just looking at so much beautiful land. I mean, it was just so much beautiful land that I couldn't help to think that, there's so much space here. Why do we have so many homeless people? Okay, you go downtown and you see the homeless people, carrying their baggage, okay, around with them, and I couldn't help to like conclude that a lot of our troubles are in here. Okay, mental illness is one of the things that keep us stuck, and I don't think that we've shown the spotlight on how mental illness has really it's like an underlying disease of mind, body, and spirit to a lot of people, and we walk around as if we don't notice this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't talk about mental illness, and how does this correlate with the fields that were beautiful and green? The fact that there's countless stories. Tyler Perry has a story that he was once homeless, and he was living in his car, but then he got inspiration and started writing there. So I told my son this morning, sometimes we especially when you're suffering, being down on your luck at a particular time. We've all been there. We've all had our highs and we've all had our lows. Okay, it's not what happens to you, but it's how you respond that is going to either give you the win or you're going to feel stuck. And sometimes we have to feel stuck and repeat the same cycle over and over until we get that epiphany moment. It's like, wait a minute, Okay, and start using what you have. So that's why I told my son this morning, sometimes we look around and the situation is so dire that we start focusing, putting our attention to the lack of what we don't have. Okay, and when we start putting the attention on what we don't have, okay, whatever you put your attention on grows. Okay, whatever you seek, you find. So you start seeking those, oh man, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have the other. You know, you're gonna be so overwhelmed by all the negativity that you already created, because it creates an anxiety level on the inside of you. Okay, and that can cause despair, that can cause hopelessness. And let me tell you, man, when a person has hopelessness in their soul, okay, that's when you're at that danger zone of falling in that rabbit hole, because it's an illusion. Okay, fear is an illusion. Fear, okay, is the opposite of love. Okay, so you know, when we start looking at, okay, what is in my hand and what I can use to propel myself out of this rut, okay, there's some people that all they have is manipulative ways, you know, being cunning, you know, sociopaths. You know, they can't create, okay, so they use manipulation, okay, to gain something from other people, okay, instead of looking what talents. And you know, you have to have, you know, in Hollywood, you know, we've heard on American Idol, it says she has the it factor, he has the it factor. The it factor is you believing in yourself enough, okay, not to let the circumstances around you dictate who you are and your worth and how you can rise out of anything. And that makes the difference of the people who rise and those who fall. Okay, the ones who fall and stay down are the ones who get into that rut of not seeing the creativity and the gifts and talents that they have, because they're too much paying attention on the gifts and the talents that other people have. You know, when we start looking at what someone else have, okay, and looking at what we don't have ourselves, okay, that's a deceptive way of thinking that can cause mental illness. Okay, how? I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I'm just speaking from experience, the things that I've seen, the experience that I've had. You know, I deal with the public. I deal with you know, with a lot of people, and it's interesting to me. I've had the opportunity to see things from a lot of different perspectives, and that's a gift that we all have, but we don't utilize. Okay, and that is putting yourself in other people's shoes, not absorbing their issues, problems, and baggages, okay, but observing from an outsider, okay, how this individual, okay, handles stress, how they deal with certain things. You know, you get to see a different perspective, and that way you're not, it helps you not to judge people, okay? But sometimes we judge people when we don't understand, okay? But you gain understanding when you are able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, okay? And you know, when I see, you know, I used to, you know, give when I see a homeless person, you know, by the doors at Walmart or whatever, I used to, you know, of course, try to give them a couple of dollars so you can have something to eat. And I'm not saying that I stopped doing that, but now I'm a little more cautious of where my energy, my cash flow goes to, okay? And there's a story in the Bible where even Jesus, you know, encountered a man at the gate called Beautiful. It's a city. I'm sure there's something more to that. Anyhow, this man had been sitting there for like 30 something years, just begging for alms for the people's generosity. And that's how he lived because he was crippled. Okay. And when Jesus walked by him, he asked him, "Do you want to be healed?" And that's the only person in the entire uh, 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 story of Jesus, in ministry, that he ever had to ask somebody, did they want to be healed? Okay. And to me, that makes a connection even with the homelessness issues that we have, because there's some people, or let's say not even homelessness, people that get stuck in a rut, and we all know these people. Okay, those that rather blame other people instead of taking responsibility for the mistakes and the choices that they've done in their life. It's always somebody else's, oh, because so and so did this to me. That when have a victim story to tell other people. Okay, not taking responsibility for your choices and your actions and your mistakes is a big problem. And again, that can cause mental issues, because people will start believing their own lies. Oh, if so and so didn't do this to you, and they did this to you, they set you back. What part did you have to play? What part did you play in all that? Were you reaping, sowing? Okay, were you doing those things that other person was doing? Okay, or were you perpetuating, okay, that somebody else has to provide to you whatever it is that you need in order for you to succeed? Okay, no, everything that you need to succeed is already in you. Okay, throughout history, mankind has invented, necessity is the mother of invention, they say. So you have a necessity. Okay, put this right here to work for you. Okay, in the right way. Okay, and things will open up. You'll open up a spring of a stream of wealth and health, and because your mental health will improve, your body will follow suit. You'll start being a asset to other people around you instead of a deficit. Okay, and you'll live life more gratifying. But what's happening today is everyone want to sit around and get a handout. Okay, because it's always somebody else's fault why you're not succeeding. Now, I'm not saying people will throw stumbling blocks, okay, but when you're so determined in your gut, okay, that no matter what, you're gonna draw strength from within, and you're gonna survive. That's where we get these stories of someone, let's say, that was hiking in the mountains in the snow and their foot got caught in a trap, and they lived on snow and berries for whatever amount of days, and they cut their foot and survive. You have the it factor rise up in individuals when they find themselves in a bind. Okay, you can even either give in to your situation, okay, or you can turn those things that were meant for your evil, turn it around for your good. Alchemy. Okay, use those things that were negative and turn them around and make them work out for your good. In order for you to do that, this right here, this little thing called your heart, has to be right. Okay, that's the one thing. Your soul, okay, your spirit has to be in the right place. Okay, and how do you get your soul in the right place? By being truthful and honest, number one, with yourself, by taking accountability of how you got to where you're at right now. Okay, by trying to make the wrongs right. Okay, having a heart of not wanting to hurt others. Okay, just because you're hurting, because hurt people. That's not an excuse. Because you're hurt, you want to hurt somebody else. That's not an excuse. Okay, and you're going to find yourself always in a rut. Okay, and you're going to see the person that you're blaming, okay, be fine and go on with their life. Because they're not stuck in your narrative. You can blame anybody. I can blame this. I can blame the government. I can blame my ex-husband. I can blame, the kids. You can blame anybody. But if you don't take accountability for your part, because nobody can make you do anything. You're a willing participant. Okay? That's why I have to forgive myself for putting myself in situations and predicaments that were not healthy for me. I had to forgive myself. Okay, I had to ask myself for forgiveness. Okay, then I had to ask God to forgive me because I didn't get wise counsel when I did X, Y, and Z. Okay, it's always good to ask, hey, is this good for my soul, what I'm about to do here? Okay, because you'll know the heart. You can try to lie to yourself, but then that's the definition of insanity. Okay, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Okay, blaming other people, okay, for why you didn't succeed or why you failed at this or the other. Okay, instead of taking accountability for your part and your own decisions, okay, is insanity. Because you're not going to get anywhere with that. Okay, you're not being honest with yourself. Okay, and we can be put in situation by the people around us. Okay, but at the same time, we choose those people. People are not in your, okay, well, people say, oh, you can't choose family, but you can choose what family members you allow in your life or not.